So I had a bit of a surprise today. I was at work and I got a notification from Netflix, which I usually ignore because Netflix has been coming out with so much content lately. It's been like it's mind numbing, okay? And I'm not sure if this is like a direct response to Disney and all these other companies launching their own streaming services and Netflix wanting to make sure that consumers stay with them, or if it was just part of their plan, period. But there's a lot of stuff coming out of the big N. And so it's easy for things to just kind of, fly under the radar. But when I saw this, I was like, well, let me go ahead and check this out. And it was a trailer for Queen Sono. Now, I had never seen anything about this show at all. I was like, what is Queen Sono? So I clicked on it, and it turned out that it's a South African show, Netflix's first African original series about a female secret South African agent who kind of has to navigate saving the world or doing whatever she's doing, along with personal changes and relationships and all of that. And the trailer was actually really cool. You see this woman who's called Queen, played by Pearl Thusi. If I'm saying her name wrong, please let me know. I don't want to annihilate it. And throughout the entire trailer, you see that she's like this super cool, awesome secret agent who can beat people up, and she's breaking bones, and she's being defiant. She's not listening to people when they tell her not to do this or that. But the trailer makes sure to show that she also has quieter moments. Like, she's reminiscing about a relationship that she had in the past. She's really good friends with one of the people who she's working with. She even seems to have some kind of relationship with an older woman who she might be going to for advice or something of that nature, or of that sort. But even with that, the trailer never stops moving. And of course, this could all be due to the editing process for this particular trailer, but they can only use what they're given. And so far, it looks like what they're given is, a lot of action, a lot of heart, and, like a compelling story for their central character. And that, to me, is the most important thing, especially for a show about an South African woman, okay? A woman being a big, selling point here. I think that her having a compelling backstory, her being compelling, not just being some buff, brawny woman who just says, oh, evil person, punch you, and that's it, and the show is over. I think that's extremely important, and I'm really happy to see something like this on Netflix. I was thinking about doing a video, actually before seeing this, about why it seems like women in these current films, why they can't seem to do anything else but be like super strong and independent and and they don't need anything at all, devoid of all emotion, okay? Or they're all getting raped. And it makes you, wonder, like, are writers having a difficult time writing for women? I mean, women have very compelling stories. Women can be very compelling characters too. And there's so much more that you can do with a female character than have her getting revenge from getting raped or something, or being some emotionless brute who can just take down hordes of men whenever she feels like it. But I felt like talking about that might actually get me put in like the internet doghouse, so I decided against it. But I do want to, just shout out this show. I know it hasn't come out yet, and we don't know what the actual quality of the show will be, but I was really impressed with this trailer because at no point did I feel like it was being too preachy, or that it was being forced, or or that it was forcing diversity or any of that. It felt natural. I enjoyed watching this, and that says a lot, because recently a lot of trailers have come out, a lot of shows have come out, and you can just sense that the people who were writing for these characters or for these films or shows really wanted to drive home the point that there is a woman in this show. This guy is really horrible. He's some kind of sexual deviant. There's some kind of gender or sexism in the world or something. And I'm sure that this show may have some elements of that. It's just something that I've come to expect. But they didn't put that front and center here. What you get is a woman who is strong. She's good at what she does, okay? And they put that front and center. And she's also flawed, okay? She's not perfect. She has a love life, things that you don't really see now. An example of that would have to be this recent James Bond trailer, because even though James Bond is still Bond, okay, you get a sense that they are kind of downplaying who he is to raise up some of the other characters, some of the other side characters around him. There's also a female agent in there who admittedly does look pretty cool. But at the same time, when she's next to Bond, she seems like more of an overpowered threat than an ally or something that you really want to get to know. And I feel like when you kind of do that, it screams that we're trying to force this. Okay, and I don't understand why that's become the case, and so much media is drenched with it. It really is. And at some point you start to wonder, like, what reason exactly was this person, why were they here? Why do you have this female in here? Is it because you're trying to fill a quota, or because she actually has an important role, like she's actually bringing something to the table? I know I haven't seen the Bond film yet, but just that trailer just didn't really leave a great taste in my mouth. I feel like Bond can be Bond, and you can bring in other characters without trying to downplay Bond. It makes me think about gender equality and diversity in media, period. There seems to be this huge push for diversity in media right now. And while that's a fantastic thing, it seems like a lot of these people who are pushing for that only want to take a character from an established property or franchise and gender swap them or race bend them in order for them to feel like they have someone who will represent them and actually be seen or actually make an impact. And I've never thought that was the case. I feel like shows like Queen Sono or any other shows out there with somebody who is African or black or Asian, those are characters that you can create that can still make their mark. Every established property out there, every character that we are familiar with had to start somewhere. And not all of them came out of the gate super popular. They had to grow into their popularity. People had to become familiar with them over time. Back in the 1930s or 20s, whichever one, I'm not entirely sure. But back then, not everybody knew who Superman was. He wasn't a household name. He became a household name over time. And that's the same thing with so many characters that we're familiar with now. They all had a beginning. So how are we going to encourage diversity in our entertainment if we can't create original characters with fully compelling and fleshed out and thought out backstories that can get people to cheer for them, want to see them on screen? I feel like we need to start somewhere. And Queen Sono proves that you can do it. You just have to think about it and, put this out. It's I don't know. I don't think it's really that hard. And it sucks that it feels like so many people just don't they just don't feel the same way. And it's really depressing, but I'm excited for this show. I really think that this could be a turning point. Because if this does well, then maybe some other Hollywood studios or something will say, hey, let's follow in Netflix's shoes and see if we can get some more diverse original characters out there who can represent different groups and genders and sexualities and all of that, without having to take away from those already established characters. We can create our own and grow them into something big too. But I just had to talk about that because when I saw this, I was just so thoroughly impressed. I thought it was really cool. If you haven't seen the trailer, you should really go ahead and watch it. I think you'll like it. And then talk to me about it. What do you think Queen Sono debuting on Netflix means for diversity? Do you think that this is a step in the right direction at the very least? Or do you feel like that, this doesn't mean anything at all and I'm just kind of blowing it out of proportion? I'm open to your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below, and if you have not done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you can get more content like this, which contains movie news, reviews, and reactions from your boy Derek right here at Anamanji. If you want me to react to this show when it debuts February 28th, I will do so. Just let me know in the comments, and I will do what you want me to do. That's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay dope.